Merhaba from Keswick Village. This is the Rorschach Turkey update from the 8th of October 2024. A quick summary of what's going down in Turkey. Unfortunately, we are starting off with some tragic news. On Friday the 4th, Sami Çelik, a 19-year-old Turkish man, murdered two women, Ayşenur Halil and Iqbal Uzunir, in Istanbul. He then took his own life, jumping from the Edirne ramparts. Media outlets reported that he cut Halil's throat and brutally dismembered Uzunir and left her body on display at the ramparts. The pictures of their bodies started circulating on the internet, leading to a public outrage. The growing attention prompted an Istanbul court to issue a broadcast ban on the case, which led to further protests. Anger grew after investigations revealed that the murderer threw Uzunir's head from the city walls with her mother present. Following the murders, the police began monitoring incel groups. Investigators discovered that Çelik had been in contact with individuals identifying as incel, or involuntarily celibate, a term for men who feel unable to attract women and often express hostility toward them and believe that women deserve fewer rights. After the murders, some members of these groups publicly supported Çelik on social media, prompting the police to monitor incel groups and accounts promoting violent or racist content with plans for future operations and detentions. In the same week, the police arrested two men after a video surfaced of them sexually assaulting a woman in Istanbul's Beyoğlu district. Initially, the police had released the two when the victim didn't file a complaint. However, they were later rearrested due to public backlash and their extensive criminal records, which included extortion and sexual assault. The attack has been linked to the broader issue of patriarchal violence and the lack of effective prevention. With femicides on the rise and recent horrific incidents, including the murder of a 9-year-old girl, Narin, Turkish women have had enough. Hundreds gathered in the Istanbul neighborhood of Edirne, where Çelik murdered Uzunir, to demand justice. They called on the Justice and Development Party, or AKP, to take action against femicides and improve the enforcement of laws protecting women. Protests spread across Turkey with demonstrations in cities like Bursa and Mersin, as women voiced their frustration and fear over feeling unsafe. To know more about the violence against women in Turkey, follow the link in the show notes. After such cases of violence, pepper spray sales skyrocketed in the country. The owner of a major pepper spray dealership has said his company received nearly 2,000 orders in just 2 days, about 30 times their normal daily volume. Other sellers reported similar increases in demand, doubling their usual sales, highlighting growing concerns over personal safety and a deepening distrust in the government's ability to protect citizens. Last Tuesday the 1st, the parliament opened its new legislative year. In the first session, some members of the Republican People's Party, or CHP, refused to stand as President Erdogan entered, protesting against his push for a new constitution, saying it would solidify his control. During the session, a CHP deputy raised a placard reading, quote, "Parliament is violating the Constitution," end quote. The Workers' Party of Turkey boycotted the session entirely. On the following day, an Ankara court sentenced 5 people to life in prison for the murder of Sinan Ateş, the former head of the ultranationalist Grey Wolves organization. Back in 2022, Ateş was shot and killed. His family accused high-ranking members of the Nationalist Movement Party, or MHP, which has ties to the Grey Wolves, of being involved in the murder. Ateş had had a falling out with the MHP and had resigned from his post as the Grey Wolves' head. The sentenced included shooter Ergay Ozyagi and accomplices involved in planning the attack. They stated that they planned the shooting over a personal conflict and denied any political motives. The court also issued prison sentences for several others connected to the crime, while acquitting 10 defendants. The trial has sparked outrage. It was put into question as the MHP might have got away with the assassination. In some international news, the German Federal Security Council has approved arms exports to NATO ally Turkey worth several $100 million. This includes 100 air defense missiles, 28 Sea-Hake-type torpedoes, and materials for modernizing Turkish submarines and frigates, totaling around $370 million. This move marks a significant shift in policy for the coalition government of the Social Democratic Party, the Greens, and the Free Democratic Party, which took office in 2021. Previously, Germany restricted arms exports to Turkey due to concerns over President Erdogan's leadership. In 2023, the country approved only 17 arms exports applications worth around $1.5 million, continuing into early 2024. Speaking of improving relations, Georgos Gerapetritis, the Greek foreign minister, said that Greece and Turkey are preparing for talks on the boundaries of the underwater land areas of both countries, as the two often disagree on the matter, leading to tension. In an interview, he said that the countries have built trust through open communication over the past 15 months, with further talks planned in the future. He also said that even without a formal agreement, maintaining positive relations is a priority. After 21 years of stalled talks, he stressed the need for active efforts to make progress on the complicated issue of maritime boundaries. Next up, Oruç Reis, a Turkish seismic research vessel, is set to begin exploring for both oil and natural gas off the coast of Somalia by the end of October, following an energy cooperation deal between Turkey and Somalia. The agreement, made in March, grants gas company Turkish Petroleum exploration rights in 3 areas of Somali waters. Turkey's energy minister stated that the region shows promising oil prospects. On another note, on Thursday the 3rd, First Lady Emine Erdogan launched the Natural is Normal campaign, aiming to promote vaginal births over cesarean sections. She expressed alarm over the rising C-section rates in the country, which exceed the World Health Organization's recommended limit of 15%. She also warned that this trend poses a growing danger to maternal and child health. The Health Ministry released a public service announcement titled, "Mommy, We Did It," which sparked significant debate on social media. There was a video saying that mothers who give birth naturally bond better with their babies, can breastfeed immediately, and quickly resume daily activities. However, the campaign's use of the term normal birth instead of vaginal birth raised concerns. Critics argued that it pressured women into specific medical choices and stigmatized assisted deliveries, ultimately infringing on reproductive rights. In other news, Saydamlar Catering, a company that provides meals to schools, dormitories, and factories, faced criticism after a food sample revealed the presence of pork, a product forbidden in Islam and generally unpopular in the predominantly Muslim country. This discovery prompted the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry to classify the company as a supplier of harmful and counterfeit food. Adding to the controversy, Murat Saydam, the company's owner, also serves as the social policies chairman for the AKP, which has a conservative and religious affiliation. Saydam defended the company, arguing that the findings were based on a single sample and thus unfair. And for our last story, the mayor of Balıkesir announced that the municipality came up with an initiative to support local okra farmers after they failed to sell their produce at market value. Farmers who couldn't sell okra for 70 liras, which is $2, are now seeing their produce bought for 90 liras, almost $3. Once sold, companies process the plant into dried okra chips. These chips have found strong demand in the U.S. market, where they sell for $41 per kilogram. The mayor explained that this product supports local farmers while also giving Balıkesir's agricultural products international recognition. He emphasized that the goal is to buy farmers' crops at a fair price, process them into higher value products, and strengthen the region's agricultural potential. And that's it for this week. Thank you for joining us. Do you know that besides the Rorschach Turkey update, we also do others? Our latest ones are the Arctic update, about the area north of the Arctic Circle, the ocean update, about the 70% of the world that's covered in salt water, and the multilateral update, about the world's major multilateral institutions. The other ones are all country updates. We have a selection of countries from Africa, Asia, South America, and Europe. Check out Rorschach.com/updates for the full list. The link is in the show notes. Hoşça kalın.